I don't think adulting was supposed to be this hard. I mean, we did everything right. We went to college, got a degree, got a job, and somehow we still ended up with things beyond our control. We have AI taking over the jobs, so unemployment crisis, massive layoffs, inflations, and as though it's not bad enough, we have a literal war going on outside right now. Here are 12 things I struggle with as an adult. If I sound nasal, that's because I'm under the weather. I'm sorry about that. I have my coffee to help with that. Number one, the financial pressure never stops. There's always something to be done and you need money for it. Everything is expensive and nothing is free. One thing I find jolting as an adult is the fact that you need money for everything. Like literally, nothing is free. Whatever you need as an adult, you need to pay for it. Everything is expensive and you can't go outside without spending money. You need to pay for a house, for food, for clothes, even water. Yes, you need to pay for water. The only thing that is free is the air you breathe, because they need you alive. And let's talk about how COVID caused everything to skyrocket and the prices never came down. I remember things that I used to buy for a certain price during COVID and it's almost like it doubled. And let's not forget the rent. Last year alone, my landlord doubled the rent, like almost 2 times what I used to pay for it. According to him, it's inflation and that's the price that the houses around my area are going for. Therefore, I now have to pay times 2 what I used to pay for rent. The price of food have doubled, if not tripled, what they used to be prior to COVID. And whenever I look around, it's almost funny how this is the new normal. I do hear people complaining about it, but why have we come to accept it as normal? Like, why do I have to pay times 3 what I used to pay for bread, tea, milk in the past? Why has the price of food doubled or even tripled or even quadrupled? And of course, we can't forget the internet, the electricity, the subscriptions. Oh my God. In fact, let's talk about the subscriptions. Why does everything need to be a subscription? I mean, every single thing is a subscription. I can't even describe in words how much I hate everything being subscription based. Like, everything is a literal subscription. And why is this our new normal? And why have we accepted the fact that everything should be a subscription? Like, why are we not revolting against these things? And the worst part about how much money you need as an adult is the fact that you can be educated, have a degree, and still somehow be broke with a job. Like, I'm literally watching people with degrees who have a job complain about money. And mind you, I'm not saying money in the sense of trying to have fun, trying to travel or whatever. I am saying like basic money needed for survival. People have jobs, but they can't pay rent, they can't afford to eat well, they can't afford like the basic things needed for life. It's almost like anything beyond what you need to survive is not a luxury. Ordering food is somehow a luxury. Even taking Uber is not a luxury because that money adds up. And let's not forget emergencies. That can crop up anytime and just wipe your entire savings. So I will always say that one thing no one prepared me as an adult is how much everything costs and how much I need to pay money for every single thing. The second thing I hate about adulthood is that your parents start to age. Yes, my parents are getting older and this is actually a very sad thing for me. I remember the last time I visited my parents, just looking at my parents and realizing these people are getting old. I'm not even gonna lie, the way it hit me when I realized that my parents are getting old, I'm actually seeing my parents physically getting old. Gray hair, they're starting to wrinkle and all. And that makes me so sad. That's one thing I hate about adulthood, is realizing that my parents are getting old. But it's not just about them getting old, it's the implication of them getting old. When something gets old, it expires eventually. And that just makes me very sad, thinking about the fact that there will come a time when my parents might not be here. I try not to think about it so much, but that is absolutely one thing I hate about adulthood. Watching my parents get old and knowing that I can't do anything about it. Also, the saddest thing about watching my parents get old is realizing that a lot of things that I have promised myself to do for my parents, I have not been able to achieve those things yet. The more I focus on the fact that they're getting old, the more I realize that I'm also running out of time to do those things for them. Like I said, I try not to think so much about it, but then I'll be lying if I say that doesn't bother me. Like, whenever I remember my parents are getting old, it bothers me. It bothers me greatly. Number 3 is the global chaos we have right now. Like I said earlier, there is a literal war going on outside, and that started over the weekend, suddenly, unexpectedly. And that's because America bombed Iran and killed their supreme leader, and now Iran is retaliating by bombing every other country. Now we have Dubai, Qatar, and other countries involved in this crisis. And to me, what's so scary is the fact that this started suddenly. We had no idea this was going to happen. And within the space of 4 days now, we have all this chaos happening. And of course, even though I have nothing to do with it, it affects me directly. Last night, I heard that Iran said they're going to retaliate on Turkey for whatever reason, and my flaggers were busted because I was literally planning to go to Turkey for my birthday in November in order to get my teeth fixed. So now I can't go to Turkey to get my teeth fixed, because what if I go there and that happens to be the period when they decide to bomb? Imagine fixing my teeth and then they bomb the clinic and then my teeth is on the ground. And even though you might find it hard to believe, I like the idea of keeping my body parts together. So it's almost like that trip is cancelled because I don't know what's going on. What if they decide to bomb the plane I'm going to be on? What if they decide to bomb the clinic? What if they decide to bomb the hotel? I'm getting sick even thinking about it. One more thing, when I was watching all the footages of the bombings and all, and I saw the smokes, I was like, oh, there goes the global warming. I have been using paper straws all these years just for you guys to raise that much smoke in the space of what? A few days. Anyways, apart from that, the other thing that the global chaos does to me is that it affects my mental health. The global chaos has affected my mental health in ways that no one has ever prepared me for or could ever prepare me for. Even though I am nowhere near where all this chaos is happening, I can't begin to tell you how sad that makes me. You know, seeing people die. I know that we have almost been desensitized to that, but I'm sorry, like, even I feel like sometimes I carry this guilt that, you know, people are dying, things are happening to people that it's not happening to me, but it's almost like I relate so much to them. Because imagine minding your business in your country or wherever you are, and then due to the chaos caused by your leaders, now you are dead. Now we can't pretend that this all started when we were adults, because I remember that even as a child, my dad liked to watch CNN and Al Jazeera, so the TV was always tuned to those networks, and it was always bombing upon bombings upon bombings. And even as a child, that affected me too, seeing people being displaced and children from other countries. Anyways, let me just move on from that. All I'm trying to say is I hate the global chaos, and I hate how that affects me mentally, and I hate how it also affects me physically and economically, because I have no hand in this chaos, but somehow it affects my money. It affects how far my money can go. And also I feel like I always have this background anxiety that something might happen that I have no control over. The next thing I hate about adulting is how mental health is now your responsibility. Whatever happens to you, that's all on you. It's on you to fix your problems. No one is coming to save you. One thing no one prepares you as an adult is the fact that nobody is coming to save you. If something happens to you, it's your responsibility to fix that. If you lose your job, if you lose your loved ones, if you get sick, if anything happens to you, babes, that's all on you. No one is coming to save you. As an adult, you see yourself trying to heal from traumas and things that's happened to you, and somehow also expected to show up as a full adult. You still have to keep a job, you still have to pay rent, pay for your food, pay for your grocery, whatever. Yes, that is one thing I hate about adulting, is that you can't take a mental health day. Even if you take it, every other thing is still waiting for you to attend to them eventually. You can't run away from your problems. When I was a child, the most that would happen to me is my teachers complaining about me not paying attention in class. But now as an adult, my problems extend way beyond that. And I hate that for myself. I hate how adulthood forces you to be productive while you're still trying to heal from, trauma or triggers. I don't think it's fair. Nobody is coming to save you. It's all on you to save yourself. The next thing is, there is nothing like freedom. When I was a child, the policy was to turn off the TV at 10 o'clock and go to bed. And I used to tell myself, I can't wait to grow up so I can watch TV as much as I want to. Or when my parents tell me to do something, I don't want to do it. And at the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to grow up so I can decide not to do those things. That's so funny, because as an adult, I realized you can never be free, because something always owns you. And for most of us, it's a job. Your job owns you. Your job is your new parents. Your job decides what you do and how you do it and when you do it. You can't just live your life the way you want to. You can't just travel when you want to or do the things you want to, because you need permission from your boss. So now the reign has transferred from your parents to your boss. Your boss decides when you do things. They decide when you come to work, when you leave work, what you do at work, what you eat at work or what you don't eat at work. There is nothing freeing about being an adult, babes. It's responsibilities after responsibilities. And at the end of the day, you always need permission to live the way you want to live. The only good thing about adulting is there's no coercion anymore. Like, you can choose to do things or not to do things, but then of course there's consequences. So if you're a teenager watching this video thinking like, oh, I can't wait to be an adult and do all the things I see on Pinterest, I'm sorry. It's not really like that. The next thing is, friendship as an adult is very complicated. Let me explain. People always say that it's easier to make friends, as children than as an adult, which I believe is partially because children have no maliciousness. Friendship as children is proximity based. Like, if we're close to each other, if we live close to each other or we go to the same school, we're automatically friends. Also, as children, we have no concept of responsibilities or even being evil. So it was all vibes. But now in adulthood, friendship gets very complicated. And personally, I think that's partially partially because we expect more of people now than we did as children. We expect them to be loyal, to be kind, and to look out for us, which is something that as children we didn't really think that much about. Also, people move, people get married, people get divorced, things happen to people. So in order for you to maintain friendship with someone who is like thousands of miles away from you, you have to put in more work, which I believe most of us are not ready for, or at least we were not prepared for that. And unfortunately, as adults, we also realize that some people have propensity for evil, for harming others. So that also explains why it's very awkward making new friends, because you never can tell like how they feel towards you or what plans they have towards you. So you see, making new friends is sort of awkward, and then maintaining the old ones is also very exhausting. And that's why friendship as an adult sucks. Which leads me to my next point. Relationship is a lot of work. It's not a fairy tale. No one prepares you for the fact that in order for you to have the kind of marriage or relationship you want, you have to put in a lot of work, and not just into that person, into yourself as well. Adulthood forces you to learn so much about yourself that you didn't know before. Personally, I've had to mature emotionally a lot. I've had to, figure out triggers and, where I get things wrong in relationships and all, in order for me to maintain the one I currently have. Part of why relationship is a lot of work is that the things that happen to you, the traumas that happen to you as a child, now start to show up as an adult. So the things that happen in your childhood now start to reflect in the way you relate to other people. So now you have two people from different backgrounds with different traumas coming together to become one, and that is a lot of work, because you guys have to walk through a lot of things in order for you to exist peacefully or to cohabit peacefully. So relationship in adulthood involves a lot of skill. It's not just the chemistry that you know it to be. You can't maintain a relationship on vibes and chemistry alone. It's a lot of work. The eighth thing I hate about adulthood is that there is a constant pressure to be something. When I was a child, the only thing I needed to be was a student. That's all I needed to be. Like, no one was asking me my net worth or the properties I have. No one is asking me any of those things. But as an adult, there is this constant pressure to be something. There's this constant race to achieve something, and this pressure shows up everywhere. Getting a degree and a job is not enough. You have to strive to be more. There's this constant question of, what do you do? Are you married? Do you have kids? What's your investment? It's almost like now people gauge your worth based on your net worth. If people think you're rich, then they're called you more respect, and vice versa. And that is sad. I feel like adulting is a non-stop performance review. There's always this pressure to be doing something, or to be something, or to have done something that was never there as a child. So you can't just live life the way you want, because people are evaluating your worth based on what you're doing or what you're failing to do. The next thing I hate about adulting is social media. It makes everything look worse. I feel like social media has given us access into people's lives that we wouldn't ordinarily have known if social media wasn't there. So now I know the amount of people my age who are flying first class, who are buying like 20 properties a year, who have millions in investments and all. So in some sense, social media makes it seem like you are not doing enough, because there's always someone doing better than you. Also, social media has a way of making it seem like everyone has their life together and you're the only one struggling with adulting, because somehow everyone is living the lifestyle and making millions of dollars every year, and you are the only one who is not doing that, which I'm sure you know is a lie. I know I'm not behind in life, but I'll be lying if I say that sometimes social media doesn't make it seem like that to me. So I hate how social media somehow magnifies the comparison that we already have in real life. The next thing I hate about adulting is job insecurity and unemployment. It's actually sad for me to witness the fact that some people have gone to school, they have a degree, and they struggle to get a job. Not because they don't want a job, but because there is no job out there for them. And let's even talk about how AI has taken over everything. It's almost like every single job is employing AI to take over humans. I'm starting to question myself, why then did we go to college? Why did we go through all that stress just to end up here? Even at some point, having experience was a problem, but now people have experience and they're still getting laid off, and you see entry-level jobs asking for 5 years of experience with a master's. Whenever I see all this, it just makes me incredibly sad. People have done the things they were told to do, and somehow they are not getting the experience that they hoped to after doing the right thing. The one thing I can't get over is how AI is taking over the jobs. I was making my research in why these companies are doing all these massive layoffs, and I realized it's not because they're not making money. In fact, they're making more money, but because they have to satisfy the stakeholders, they have to keep laying off people in order to give more money to the stakeholders, which I find very sad that somehow we're the collateral at the end of the day. It is what it is. The next thing that sucks about adulting is you are responsible for every mistake you make. When I was a child, if I get in trouble, I just have to call my parents and they will come help me out. Whatever trouble I get into as a child, my parents were always there. Now as an adult, it's not the same anymore. Mind you, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I wish I can just tell my dad to help me call these people or handle this thing. But I can't do that anymore because now I'm an adult. And unfortunately, the mistakes you make as an adult can snowball into other areas of your life. A single mistake can affect your career, your reputation, your income, everything about you. Just a single mistake. So it's almost like as an adult, there's less room for error. You just have to be careful that you don't make any mistake. So it's almost like as an adult, there's very little room for error because Every little thing you do, any little mistake, can actually compound into bigger problems for you. The other thing that sucks as an adult is both a good thing and a bad thing, depends on how you look at it. I just want to end on a high note, and that is nobody actually knows what they're doing. I find that both upsetting and comforting. Nobody knows what they're doing. The president, the CEOs, the world leaders, no one actually knows what they're doing. They're just improvising and sort of, making decisions on the way. And that was the biggest shock of all as an adult, is when I realized people actually don't really know what they're doing. They're trying their best. They're trying things here and there to see what works, but no one has a concrete plan every single time there's a problem or something that needs to be attended to. At first, I used to feel like a fraud. I felt like, am I the only one who is somehow improvising, who is just like, learning things on the way? Until I realized that is everyone around me. Like, everyone is pretending to be good at what they're doing, but no one actually knows what they're doing, like 100%. And like I said, that is comforting in some way, because I don't have to have everything figured out. No one has a master plan. Everyone is trying their best and doing the little they can do here and there. And I kind of like it. So adulting sucks because that illusion is gone. The illusion that, the world is perfect. Now the world is not perfect. Now people can be evil. People can literally be evil. I have met some questionable people. So yeah, I don't like that. But sometimes I also tell myself that perhaps that is the point of adulting, is just to live life on your own terms and try to figure things out, and not necessarily have be perfect at all times. And the more I see life that way, the easier it is for me to live it. Because at first I used to struggle so hard because I felt like I needed to have everything together. So if I was taking care of 10 things and one thing falls apart, I feel like I failed in adulting because I was supposed to have everything together. But now I just realized that I live one day at a time. Things don't have to be perfect. I just have to put in my best every day and somehow hope for the best. And if the best never comes, that's fine too. So in the comment section, I want you to tell me the things you struggle with as an adult, and let's all have fun together. Thanks for watching my video. I want you to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you.